Thank you, Ashley. Now, can everybody see us? Oh, I've got so many people here. My name is Gretel, but I have some sort of mental disorder, and I have interviewed many people in my life that when I'm interviewing people, I just forget their name, okay? I've forgotten my children's names as well, but that's why they've all got name tags on. Now, have you all got a piece of paper as well with the various pieces of art on? Fantastic. Could you pass me one of them if you're not using it? Have you still got one to look at? Fantastic. Okay, thank you. Now, we can obviously see who we all are. Can we just summarise where we are in life? For example, Hugh, tell me, you did your HSC art last year.
I did my HSC art last year, and at my school we do acceleration, so that means we do our HSC over 2 years, and I'm in year 12 now, and yeah.
So you're the only one still at school. Now, we all started at university and colleges this month. So, Lauren, tell us what you're up to.
I'm doing a Bachelor of Nursing at Newcastle, and just keeping art on the side as a hobby.
But she's also was telling me when we were meeting upstairs that she's going through what is known as Hump Week, which, may I say, when I was at university meant something completely different. But now apparently it means that you're finding it all a bit hard and want to give up. You should have had our Hump Week. No one wanted to give up then. Okay, Jacob, you tell us.
I am taking a bit of a gap year, except not doing anything exciting, like travelling or anything, and then going to study graphic design next year at a university in Melbourne.
And what's that accent we can hear?
That's my hybrid American-Australian accent.
Have you been to America, or is it just
I lived I lived there for 5 years, between when I was 6 and 12.
Well, that's okay. That's well earned. I do know someone with an Irish accent who's never actually been there. Isabel? Is it Isabella or Isabella?
Isabella.
Okay, now can you tell us what you're up to?
I am currently doing commerce at Sydney Uni, and I'm in my 3rd week, and at the moment want to drop out and keep doing visual arts, but hopefully I'll get through Hump Week.
Yeah, because we've got a couple of girls here who've had a difficult day and a difficult week, and we're all, in fact, including me, envious of Tom, who is now, what have you just started?
Well, this year I'm studying a fine arts at COFA, which is the arts side of Uni of New South Wales, and I've elected to do photo media, time-based art, and jewellery. So yeah, it's very exciting.
As a parent, I'm thinking, yes, I'm not seeing a huge income in there.
Yeah.
Which one's going to be our money spinner? The jewellery.
Yeah, the jewellery for sure. It'll keep mum happy anyway, so.
Yeah, you got prezzies galore organised. What about you, Peter?
I'm studying a Bachelor of Arts and Art Theory at UNSW.
Great.
So,
now, does this mean you've actually got hands on the art as well?
No,
There's
no
nothing...
practical, just theory.
Oh dear, I'm seeing a Hump Week.
Yeah, it's been a bit like that.
Yeah.
It'll get over it soon, I hope.
But it's interesting this year because at least a percentage of our people are involved in the arts. A lot of are wanting to pursue the arts. Over the years, we've had a lot of kids doing art who kind of did their work. It got into ARTEXPRESS, which you all know is hand-selected throughout the whole of the state, so it's quite an honour to be picked. But some of them just spontaneously created these things, often urgently when they were due in, but didn't necessarily have the desire to be an artist. But we've got a few here who want to be artists, haven't we? Hugh, you wanted to...
Yes, I want to go over to London and study design at a university called Central St Martin's, and then take it from there. All right. Yeah.
Now, because this is only half an hour, what we're going to do is just ask each of the artists, it's nice to be called that, isn't it? Each of the artists to describe their work. I'll throw a few questions in. To me, it's such a golden opportunity in life to have this stamp of approval on your artistic value, because it may never happen again, quite frankly, but to have that and to use it as a launching pad for your confidence and the rest of the things you want to achieve in life. The validation is really vital. So let's hear, from you guys if it was accidental or intentional, 20 years of stewing. Now, who should we start with? Hugh, yes, because I think once we start with you, Hugh, you'll never shut up. So Peter, I mean that in a positive way. Peter is on the bottom, so to speak. You don't have this. Describe your work to us if you don't mind.
It's a collection of works. I chose paper cutting as my material practice, and it's based on a song called the bird song a cappella by Florence and the Machine, which it sort of is a narrative about this girl who commits a crime, and then a bird flies past and sees what she's doing and then starts singing about it outside her house. So she gets the bird, she kills it and she eats it. And then the next morning she wakes up and she's singing this song about what she's done, and then everyone sort of hears about it. So
she's become the bird, the voice of the bird.
Yeah, so it sort of tells that story through paper cutting. So.
How did you choose paper cutting?
I just sort of did a bit of research. Like, I stumbled across this artist, Rob Ryan, a few years ago, and I just really liked what he was doing. So I started off with that. I had no idea what I was going to actually do for it, but I knew I wanted to do paper cutting. So I just started with that and just really practiced it, and then came with my thing.
Are you particularly good at cutting out paper?
I wasn't a while ago, but after lots of practice and like bleeding fingers, I got a bit better.
Do you use normal scissors or manicure
scalpels?
Oh, you use a scalpel. And personally, my daughter was doing it. She would have got me to do half of them. Did your mother do some of it?
No, she tried, but no.
She doesn't have the skill.
Yeah.
And is this the kind of... Do you think you'll continue with this? You're not studying it, do you think?
Maybe. I think I prefer the theory a lot more than the actual practice itself.
Do you? Have you all seen the exhibition yet, or are you going to pop in afterwards? All right, so this is at the back of the second room, I think. And so we've got... It's beautiful. White, white, white. And these lovely paper cutouts. But you've got splashes of blue. They're the blue birds, aren't they? I saw it yesterday, so I'm going through the photo in my head. You've got the blue birds up the top. And what would you say is the actual theme? I was writing some notes down yesterday based on the description that you gave. Betrayal, trust and the relationship between visual imagery and sound.
Yeah, well, like the song sort of explores the concepts of betrayal and trust, so I carried that through into my work, and then, explored how visual imagery and sound can be connected.
And were you allowed to present it with the soundtrack?
I could have, but I didn't.
Why?
I just couldn't be bothered. I'd had enough.
Teenagers. No, I relate to that. I would have been over it too. But that's an extraordinary, it's a beautiful piece of work. What are you going to do with it now?
I don't know. I don't get it back till late this year because it travels around for quite a while.
It goes on tour.
Maybe hang it up on the wall, do something nice with it.
Well, it is beautiful. Now, Tom.
Yep.
Now, you're going to have to hold the microphone with enthusiasm, not 19-year-old indifference. All right? Are you 19 or 18? You're probably 18, are you? 19. 19. Okay, that was a good guess, wasn't it? Okay. Now, you're from Nowra, and this is your first time ever in the gallery.
Yeah, well, our school's never been featured in ARTEXPRESS, and this was the first year, so it was a big thing for us and our school and stuff. But, no.
Well, it's a very big thing. I mean, even if your school had 100 kids, it's a big thing. Did you have a teacher in particular who supported you?
Yeah, well, I was lucky enough to have a good teacher, Bridie Abbott, and she was, really encouraging, and she pushed us to our limits pretty much. So.
Is she in the room?
No, she's not.
Well, it's a long way now.
I'm sure she'll watch the video. And also my mum's an art teacher, so I could always bounce ideas off her, and she was always good help. And my neediness kind of drove her mad in the end. But
your neediness, how was your neediness expressed?
Oh, just, I don't know, my passion for doing it just became too crazy in the end, and I was just, all it was art and more art, so.
But that's fantastic, because if we put it in a frame of reference here, we're talking about kids who are usually doing 5 or 6 subjects. And art, very often by school, is quite disrespected, isn't it? It's not seen as a valuable pursuit. In fact, they're trying to de-emphasise it further within the curriculum by putting all art subjects together, visual arts, dance, drama, and which is really quite demeaning. So for you, Tom, to be obsessively triumphant over that is fantastic. And can you explain, when you were describing what you're doing at COFA, the photo, I think all of us had a moment of what's he talking about. So could you just explain which is your piece and what the term actually means?
Well, my chosen medium was photography, and it's a series of 17 images with one LCD video playing along. And I found that I took I think over 8,000 photos, and I only used 17 of them, so there was a lot of playing around, experimenting, and doing all that kind of thing. And I kind of like we said, it became more of a hobby to me than schoolwork. It just became so consuming that it took up most of my time.
But photography can be like that, can't it? Suddenly when you're seeing the world through a camera, everything is worth taking a photo of. Did you find that?
Yeah, well, after I took a couple of photographs that I was pleased with, I just couldn't stop. And it's heaps obsessive, like, it was crazy, but no.
What about the culling process, getting it down to, was it 17 you said?
Yeah, that took, I think, it took a number of weeks just to cut down all the images, and then I had to finalise my concept and put it all together. So. One
of the things we do find with students, because you've got to do visual diaries still, do you? Which is the progression of the thought and how it came to be realised and the influences and whatever, but it is interesting when you're saying you had to kind of finalise your concept after you'd actually finished doing the concept.
Yeah. I know, it was like, along the way I was thinking about it, but I kind of just fell in love with taking the photo than thinking about like what it was really saying until I brought it back into the studio and had a look. So
you shot on digital?
Yeah. I used like a number of new technology like projections and long exposures using my camera and a manual setting. So I was painting light onto open surfaces and just objects of the landscape, and I wanted to take the projections outside and outside of its normal context, just to give like the environment a different feel. And
did I hear that you used torches and things for light rather than?
Yeah, I used a number of different LED lights and techniques and stuff just to give it a kind of theatrical and stage look. Like I had a number of different models, so which were all my family members, because no one else wanted to do it, because I had to photograph it like late hours at the night, and and in mangroves and all types of places. So
it's your mum and your dad and whoever else you could rumble up.
Yeah, well, I had like a little team pretty much. Like I had my dad on the projector, and like my brother was in the water with his gumboots on in the mangroves and freezing and stuff. So yeah, it was good. I had to plan all my shoots a lot and collaborate a lot with my family just to make sure that the light was striking like the right spots and like I was getting the right effect and the image I was after. So.
Well, they must be very proud of you being in this.
Yeah,
well, and they're in it too, so congratulate them.
Yeah, true.
Now, Isabella, you come from a completely different perspective, don't you?
Yes. Well, my work are the
Hold the mic up.
My work are the 7 boxes, and they explore the kind of the nexus between industrialisation and the natural world, and how in the 21st century we value nature and the environment, and And
now, are they collected items?
Everything that I've collected is from the ground or waste. So I went on a bit of a mission and found would walk to school twice a week to find everything that was left on New South Head Road and Edgecliff and everywhere else. And what I found is exactly what's in my work. I also went to Queensland and just found everything that was left on the beach, like rusted cigarette lighters and all of that kind of stuff, and formed natural pieces from this industrial waste.
So that's quite different, isn't it? Because you come from an inner city school.
Yeah.
So your art reflects quite a different perspective, doesn't it?
Yes.
And you almost committed a crime bringing the artwork in here, I understand.
Almost. Well, among the other obstacles I overcame, as 2 weeks after the work, or I think less, a week after the work got to the art gallery, I got a frantic call from one of the organisers who told me that my work has to be taken down because the conservatorium came and thought that the Brett Whiteley works might be eaten by little worms that came in my wood. They got all the different people, I'm still not sure what kind of people, they came and took 2 of the boxes down and froze them so that all the insects inside the wood would go. And luckily they're back and not eating any of the other paintings.
So they froze them for 2 days, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. About 2 days. Luckily all the lighting was fine, so...
You can imagine the drama, because an art gallery is all about the right lighting, the right temperature, no one's allowed to touch anything, and all of a sudden a piece of work's introduced with borers in it. Imagine the chaos you could have caused. But you got through that, and the things from Queensland, you had to get them through quarantine as well?
Yes. They didn't go through quarantine, but I'm sure they're fine now.
We'll just delete that bit, okay? We'll delete that from the video.
But yeah, everything's been frozen, so don't worry. I think the Art Gallery of New South Wales will still have their paintings in a year's time.
Now, your work is just inside to the right?
Yeah.
7 boxes, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so really quite different. We've got a real variety going on here. And then to the right-hand side, when you walk in, we've got Jacob's work. Now, Jacob, are you from Byron, is that right?
Yes.
Via America?
America via Byron via America.
Now, tell me, are you at an art school up there, just normal high school?
Just a little Steiner school.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yes. Which is kind of an art school anyway. Pretty focused on art, I suppose.
Yeah. And your works are very interesting. So, as I said, they're just in on the right, and there are 5 pieces of work on 3 rows. Is it about that?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, let's guess. It's about that. But each one is done in a very different style. But the theme is the same throughout. Can you tell us what the theme is?
The general theme is kind of about the portrayal of freedom in different art forms and different types of symbolism. So, like, I've used impressionistic style when I've painted with oils, and it's kind of like it's an art form that embodies a sense of freedom in how it's made. Like, I think a lot of Impressionists like Monet and whatnot used to paint outside, which was pretty radical for the time. And the way that brushstrokes are applied to canvas is very free. And then the second row, which is digital works, is the portrayal of freedom through surrealism. So if you look at them, they're kind of like very odd, surreal, like it's images and scenes which shouldn't exist, but I've decided they should, and so they do. And then I guess the last level, the lower one, which is watercolors and pen on paper, is a mixture of surrealism and the freedom of impressionist painting. And that's about the gist of it.
All right, when you have a look, the top one is done on wood. The second one are paintings that have then been photographed,
No.
Is that right? They've all
digital
been done,
media.
So they've all been done
On the computer,
digitally on the computer. And the third one, was it acrylic or did you say
Watercolour.
or watercolour with ink, is on corrugated cardboard. But the theme continues throughout. I mean, the link to me visually was the repetition of the clouds. Is it called Up in the Sky or
Something in the air.
Something in the air? So that joined them together for me, but it's beautiful. So take time to have a look at that one. And we're only meant to be talking for half an hour, so I will hurry us along. But Lauren, tell us about your piece.
My artwork's the 3 big boards, and it's called Deferred. it's got a lot to do about procrastination and how people put things off in life. I don't really know why I chose procrastination.
Is that because you were procrastinating
No,
about
I'm
what
not
to
a
do?
procrastinator at all. I'm very organised.
Well, where do you think it came
I have
from?
no idea.
Well, do go on.
Yeah. Robert Rauschenberg really influenced me, so it's a lot like his works. And in my work, there's a lot of, it's painting, but it's also got photography and sculpture in it. Particularly one of my sculptures I made out of book pages, and I cut it in circles and made like a rope to signify the ropes of life.
And you've also got drawers.
Yeah, they're the places where you put things you're just going to put away for later.
Ah, kind of like the bottom drawer.
Yeah.
I'll put it away and maybe never access
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
Wood, are we working with wood? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Or canvas?
wood.
Okay, is it called a triptych? It's in 3 parts.
It's
isn't
3
it?
parts, yes.
Okay, and then we've got the drawers down the bottom
Yeah,
where we're shoving everything.
yeah, they're really full actually.
And the colour, the choice of colours is interesting because it's quite a masculine
Yeah,
choice of
it
colours.
is. I've always worked with those colours.
We should explain what they are. Earthy tones,
Yeah,
aren't
they are earthy, very neutral tones. They've always been in my colour palette.
And now, on the night that the exhibition was launched, you two had a rather odd experience,
Yeah.
Peter and Lauren. Their works are actually hanging up next to each other in the art gallery. And what happened on that night?
Will you tell it
Okay,
all?
you weren't there, were you?
No, I was in Cambodia,
Yeah.
but we found out that Peter's brother had taken, I had taken a photo of Peter's brother's graffiti.
Yeah, yeah.
Accidentally.
Yeah, accidentally. I had no idea.
And
but
it
it's
features
in my artwork.
It
yeah.
features in the art. So they've never met before. Never ever. Lauren just randomly took a photo of some graffiti on a wall. It's about that big. Adhered it to her work of art. And you're allowed to do that if you
Reference it, kind of.
You reference it, and
You
it's,
just
it's not
state.
called accommodate. There's something. What's it? Appropriate? Is it? You
Yeah,
you
well-
add to the piece of art in some way. So you've added to it.
Yeah, I've come off it.
Yeah, you make it yours exactly. And then here we are at the exhibition on opening night, and the sister of the boy who did the graffiti is exhibiting next door, the painting next door, the piece of work next door. It's just meant to be. Yeah. All right, now. Finally, Hugh, let's hear from you. Are you a baby? How old are you?
I am 17.
Right.
And I guess my work kind of explores the idea of colour and my Polynesian background, and pretty much drawing on the qualities of the island lifestyle and working with colour, and I'm pretty much influenced by Aboriginal society and Aboriginal art, and I draw lots of my inspiration from that, and looking at aerial viewpoints and and looking at the idea of colour and using it in unconventional ways, and using that for to incorporate into my work.
And yours is it called skylarking?
Skylarking, yes.
All right, and it's 2 of your paintings are actually on
They're on
skylights.
and I actually had a pretty problem with them. I actually smashed one of them, and if you look down the middle of it, it's got a big smash, which I accidentally knocked over, and that was
when
a bit
it was
of a
finished, or
like halfway through the process. So that was a bit of a drama.
are they expensive? These skylights?
My dad actually found them, and another common thing is looking at the uncommon and looking at found objects and the idea of unconventional materials. Yeah.
All right, so in yours we've got 2 big skylights, and in between there's a video that plays,
yep.
which is you with all various makeup on, or paint.
Paint, yeah.
Join the dots for us. How does that fit in?
I guess I wanted to play with techniques of film and using stop motion and trying to connect the 2 paintings together as a film. So I thought that was a main focal point of the two skylights, and the light boxes pretty much represent my whole process, and I had worked through different mediums and drawing upon those and photographing them and using them again in my work.
Well, they're beautiful works, all of them. And one thing I guess I've had 2 children go through art for their HSC. I do know what a nightmare it is. We had to repaint our whole house actually because it was adhered to the wall. But enough about me. One of the significant things I've found is the influence of not only teachers but the support of families. Now, Tom, you mentioned your family were all being extras and stunt doubles and whatever in your work. Hugh, your dad was sourcing the skylights.
My dad actually framed the skylights, and without him, I don't think I would have had a body of work.
Now, did anybody else... Art is a lonely thing, you know, as we said earlier, you often don't get the affirmation, but if you can get the affirmation at the grassroots level from family and school or friends, it's vital. So you got it from Dad. Lauren, where did you get the support from?
I had a lot of support from teachers at school, but my dad also helped me with part of mine, like putting the tap in the box. Yeah, I had heaps of help. They were really understanding because they're really big artworks, and they helped me take them in the house and stuff. So
yeah,
I was a pain that week, but
great. And what about you, Jacob? Were you a sole trader on yours?
Yeah, mostly actually. I don't think my parents saw a third of my body of work until maybe even like today.
Okay, are they here?
Yeah, my dad's here.
Well,
yep.
Hello, Dad.
Hi.
And congratulations. Okay, so you're more of a solitary guy, but we can tell that because you want to go into graphic design, which is not really a team sport, is it? No, it's not. And what about you, Isabella? Did you have...
Well, last week when I told my parents that I was going to be doing this, my dad said, well, are you going to tell them that I was there at 3 a.m. doing the soldering and that your work wouldn't have been completed without me? So I am here, my mum, my dad, my sister, my cousins, all for the last week. I'm very unorganised. We're up every night until all hours of the night doing the soldering of the wires at the back because it's all electrical, and helping me sticking with glue gun. So they were vital parts, as well as my teachers.
Fantastic. And Peter, your mum didn't help you cut it out. Did you have anyone doing that? Grandma, anybody?
No, pretty much alone. My mum did help though in like making me food and like.
Oh, she fed you.
Getting
She
all
kept
the
you alive.
materials. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I want to congratulate all of you. And if you guys are all going to wander in and have a look at the artworks, you don't mind if people come up and have a chat with you, because it's such a wonderful achievement. So really revel in it. I know that school probably feels like a long time ago, except for you, of course. But congratulations on this evening. And I hope all of you pursue art. I don't want to put the kibosh on your studies, but really, aren't you doing commerce, Isabella? Really?
No, wrong choice.
Well, we'll stay tuned to all the successes that are in front of you. Let's thank everybody for sitting here. It's a brave thing to talk in front of strangers.